much you guys miss Jay, and what's the plan to kind of move on without him?
Well, I mean, Jay's a big part of what we've done. So it's a an injury that will impact us here until we get the guys back out there. And Wendell is he's done a really nice job in the playing time that he's gotten thus far in the season. Really pleased with his production. He's done a nice job. Corey's progressing with his injury, and we're happy with the guys that we got. We think we still have talented players to be able to be really good at the running back position.
Mike, Doug's talked about the self-inflicted wounds on the plays where guys just aren't getting lined up correctly. I mean, what are you seeing there? How do you kind of eliminate those mistakes?
Well, I mean, we obviously we don't condone those kind of mistakes, and the guys that are responsible for that, we've talked to those guys, and those things can't happen. I mean, they just can't happen. That's simple football, and we've got to get out of the huddle. We've got to get lined up. We got to know where we're supposed to be, and what our assignment is. So we've got to do a better job collectively of I guess teaching that, and then when we get out there, everybody's got to know what to do and where they're supposed to line up, and those things have to be eliminated.
What does Isaac Seumalo bring to the offensive line, particularly the left guard spot?
Yeah, Isaac's we've been talking about Isaac throughout the course of training camp. Has strong training camp. He's played multiple positions for us. He's got a lot of athleticism. He's played with a lot of confidence, and he's able to not only hear the calls but make calls and recognize things out there on the run. He's done a nice job and earned himself some playing time.
How much of a concern is the ball security with Carson and the fumbles, and what can you guys do to kind of eliminate that?
Well, obviously we don't want to have any turnovers in the game, and so we got to continue to stress our pocket security in there, and we just got to do a better job all around. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that are involved with that, so we all know what they are, and we got to take care of the ball. I mean, we got an excellent defense. If we don't put them in a bad position, we know that we're going to be in each and every game and have more in our chance to win. So we got to do a good job taking care of the ball.
Last year, you guys brought Jay in like in the middle of the season. You're able to get him up to speed and everything. If you guys were to go, bring in someone from the outside at running back, I mean, would you be able to do that? I know you have, obviously this weekend off after the game, but, would that take time? Would you be able to do it?
Well, I think with any new player, regardless of who you're talking of, yeah, there's a learning curve involved, but, Deuce is an outstanding teacher and did a great job of getting Jay ready last year, and Jay was able to contribute, very, very early in his time here. And so, we have a lot of good coaches here. Whatever position that might be, that's part of the job.
As confident as you are in the four running backs you have, Jay is physically a different type of running back. Can that be replaced, or do you need to adjust the running game without Jay?
Yeah, well, we're going to miss Jay's physicality for sure. So, I mean, to sit here and say that, we won't miss Jay, I think, isn't fair. I mean, Jay is an excellent running back, but, we've gotten these guys a lot of experience. They've played in enough games to be able to go out there and play well and to be able to run our system. So we're confident what they can do.
Chemistry is a big deal along the offensive line. Did you talk to?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of that.
Chemistry is a big deal along the offensive line. Did you speak with Jason Peters or Jason Kelsey prior to making a change at guard, or were they consulted at all?
Were they consulted about a change? No, we spoke as a staff, and we're always evaluating everything ourselves. Each individual player and their position, how they're playing, and that's how that decision was made.
When Corey returns, could he kind of take over sort of a feature back role, or will it be more of a split rotation?
Well, we're just hoping to get Corey back to being Corey. He's been battling, and I know he's been working really hard these last couple of weeks to get healthy, and made enough progress to be active last week. So a few more days, I think he'll be feeling a little bit better. And he's a versatile player. He's good. He really runs well between the tackles. He can be that physical style running back that we're talking about that Jay is. Plus, he's an outstanding receiver out of the backfield. So he gives us a lot of versatility back there.
Mike, when you talk about pass protection as a whole, how much different does it make for the guys up front when you have a quarterback willing to extend plays, willing to hold on to the ball a little bit longer?
How much difference does it make? Yeah. In what kind of way?
As far as pass protection, as far as for the guys up front, the offensive linemen,
right?
Is there a big difference when you have a quarterback who's willing to try to extend plays?
You mean in the pocket or outside the pocket? Well, I mean, we know that Carson you know, he's tough as nails, and he'll hang in that pocket and you know, give the guys every chance to make plays down the field and get open. So, you know, they don't have an egg timer in their head up front in terms of, you know, how long they're blocking. They know that they got to strain their gut to the echo of the whistle, and I think that they know that. And then with his ability to get out and extend plays, I mean, that's unique. And, you know, so I think that they love that, the fact that he can get himself out of trouble.
Mike, what have you made of the run-pass ratio and just stepping back and looking at it from a big-picture point of view?
Yeah, we all know that we want to be balanced, and we know that we're a very effective running team, and you know, circumstances dictate the calls. You know, each and every week, you know, sometimes you get off track of maybe where you intended to play the game, and you know that goes back to starting and scoring earlier, which keeps the run more involved, but. We did a lot last week where we came out in the second half and run the ball right down the field, and we know that we need to be balanced, and we know that we're at our best when we are balanced. So there's certainly a conversation about that.
Along those lines,
is having a pretty impressive season. Have you noticed the defense is adjusting to kind of the amount of targets that he's getting?
Well, I mean, I think that if you're preparing for the Eagles, that you're aware where Zach is. So. I wouldn't say that, you know, there's anything that we're seeing that we wouldn't have expected, and you know, we do our due diligence too to try to put him in position to help him so that we can keep him out of those circumstances.
Following up on it, you mentioned the slow starts. I think you guys have 3 touchdowns in the first half this year in 5 games. When you look at film, what are you seeing different early than you're seeing in the second half when you guys have been more productive?
You know, we've talked about some of the self-inflicted you know, issues that we've had. So I don't know. It's as much about us as about who we're playing, and we have to eliminate those. And that's something that we're all evaluating. You know, myself, I'm looking at ourselves, the coaches. We're having those kind of conversations. What can we be doing better? Is there, you know, is it scheme? You know, is it you know, as simple as an alignment error? Those kinds of things that put you behind the chains that. You know, make it harder to get drives generated. So we're looking at everything, and we know that it's not what we want it to be, and we're going to keep working, and we're going to get it done.
And my follow-up to that, in terms of situational football, red zone, third downs, even started games, how much are you looking at Monday to Saturday, and what can be adjusted in terms of the game planning?
How much are we looking at?
At the game planning and what you can do preparation-wise as opposed to what's just happening on the field?
Well, I mean, we're preparing for the situations, you know, throughout the course of each week, based on the day. I mean, that's how it's kind of set up with your first and second down, emphasis on Wednesday, and then Thursday is your third down, and then Friday is your red zone. So, you know, that system is in place, and that routine is in place for us. So, I mean, we're evaluating those situations each and every week, and who we're playing and what their tendencies are, and we're putting those game plans together, you know, each night. And we haven't had the success that we would like. You know, we've really done a nice job in most of these games of driving the ball between the 20s, but we're not getting the points that we want. We're not finishing the drives the way that we want. We expect to. So. Again, it goes back to evaluating the scheme. Is it scheme related? Is it, you know, self-inflicted wounds? Is it, you know, a physical error? Which, you know, all those things happen. And
What is it?
it's a combination of everything, I think, sometimes. I mean, we've had, obviously, there's been instances where all of us could say, I wish we had done something a little bit better.
You mentioned Carson being tough as nails, Mike. Is there any concern with a bigger guy like that's willing to hang in the pocket and take hits, that the kind of the collective absorption that takes its toll on a guy's body like that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to see him taking any undue hits. I mean, nobody wants to see their quarterback taking more hits than is necessary. So, sure, I mean, we're always concerned. It wouldn't matter whether it be Carson or anybody else back there playing for us. We want to keep him upright, and you know, that's he can help himself sometimes with that too, and knowing, you know, when to fold him, I guess. But it's not just one guy. It's all of us involved with that, and we don't want him to take any more hits than necessary.
Third down, given the success that you guys had last year on third down, especially third and long, are you seeing defenses attack you any differently in those situations?
Well, I mean, I think that, we probably had unprecedented success in that 3rd and long situation. To sustain that is very challenging, and we need to do better there. But we need to try to keep ourselves out of that position more often. We're finding ourselves in that position too frequently. So we need to do better on 1st, 2nd down and put ourselves in more manageable 3rd down situations.
Jason Kelce said after the game that games up front were giving the offensive line a lot of trouble. Why do you think that is? What's been the issue there?
I don't know. I mean, Jason's as good as there is in terms of communication and making the line calls. Those guys have played a long time together, and I wouldn't say that they're having a significant amount of trouble with those things. So I'm not quite sure where he was going with that. You probably have to ask Jason for more clarification on that one.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Carson, how much do the fumbles bother you, and what can you do personally to avoid them come down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the fumbles are frustrating. Any turnovers are tough. Last game we were on a roll there, and it seems it's kind of unfortunate, as I'm going to throw and stuff like that. So, but it's definitely something I'm always looking at, and know I gotta protect the ball better.
How tough is it to lose Jay Ajayi? Have you had a chance to talk to him since it's
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, more than anything, I feel for him. I feel, he's kind of been battling his back this year and just little things here and there, and then this happened. I feel terrible for him. I know what it's like. Obviously, he's been there before too, and I just told him that I'm here for him. I'm praying for him, and going forward, without him, I know those are big shoes to fill, but I feel we got the guys to really step up and that are ready for that role.
You said after the game that the O-line has to block a little longer because you're back and off the injury and wanting to hold the ball maybe a little longer. Have you seen that as well? Do you feel like you've been doing that?
I mean, it happens. It definitely happens. I mean, that's kind of the nature of my game that I think I bring. And again, you're always trying to weigh the pros and cons of doing that, and sometimes it gets you, sometimes it ends up being big plays as well. So, I mean, I would think it's a fair statement.
Carson, when you have the amount of success that you guys had on offense last year, there's obviously going to be a lot of eyes on what you're doing. What do you think is the biggest adjustment that you've noticed from defenses this year to try to take away some of the stuff you do?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say really anyone's doing anything crazy or off the wall. You watch the tape, and every week it seems like a team has something new, a little wrinkle here and there, and but overall, I mean, it's nothing crazy. Teams are maybe playing a little softer zone or taking away some of that stuff, but again, overall, it's nothing crazy. We just gotta execute and really sustain some drives better.
You guys seem to be running fewer RPOs. Does that have anything to do with what defenses are doing, or your preference, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's partially that. That's still something that we'll always have in every week. It's just whether or not we're calling them so much or not. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely, again, it's a big part of what we do. It's just throughout each game, sometimes we use it more if we're if it's working well, and sometimes we get away from it.
How do you see the offense replacing Jay?
I mean, I know, like I said earlier, those are big shoes to fill. I mean, he was a violent downhill runner that just sought contact and loved to just feed off that and really got us going. But we feel confident in these guys stepping up. We've seen Wendell the last couple weeks step up and make plays, and getting Corey back out there, I mean, that'll be big for us. And, Josh is going to have to now increase his role as well. So Sproles as well coming back hopefully soon. So, I feel like we got still a stable of workhorses there, but yeah, it's tough losing Jay.
And so it sounds like you're looking at it as a committee approach as opposed to just one guy stepping
For sure.
up.
I mean, that's kind of been our approach, even with Jay when he was playing. I mean, he was always the starter, he was the guy, but we've always kind of been by committee around here.
When you look at the reason that penalties was the guys not getting lined up right, are there any common themes, plays not coming in soon enough, just human error, just what do you kind of see there?
Yeah, I think we just got to be locked in a little bit more. I think sometimes we let the little details kind of skip us, and guys are just, trying to play fast and do all these things, and I think it's just a lack of focus here and there that we got to work on.
You saw last year you could do in practice or this week or at any week, or a regular week, even not just a short week, but to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, it seems little things happen in practice every now and then, and we just got to be on it. And, a lot of us, older guys and leaders got to hold each other accountable and say this is the standard, and where we've been is not the standard, and really hold everyone accountable to that. And that sometimes those little things at practice you kind of just let slip, but those are the things that are getting us in the game, so we got to hold each other accountable.
Carson, when you look around the league, scoring being way up, passing yards, pretty much through the roof, do you guys feel that you're pretty close to, being among those teams that are putting up 40 points a game? And what do you think takes? I mean, you guys talk a lot about the self-inflicted wounds. Is that pretty much it, or is it something
Yeah, I
else?
mean, it's, we want to be that team. We definitely believe we have the guys to be in that explosive offense, really similar to how we were last year in that sense. And right now we're just not clicking on all cylinders yet, and it's been frustrating. Like you said, we've had those little mistakes, those unfortunate penalties, and lots of things like that. But we definitely believe we can be that offense, and we're looking forward to proving that on Thursday.
It's obviously clicked in the games on offense, but leading up to that during practice, does it feel like it's working and then it just doesn't in the game, or is it not working in practice too?
Yeah, I mean, we feel great at practice. I mean, it's never perfect. Early in the weeks, you're always, you're installing new plays, and there's going to be mistakes here and there, but I don't see anything that would really concern me in practice. Always going to the games confident. It just hasn't been clicking quite yet.
We saw last year that when there was a change at the offensive line, sort of kick-started the offense. What do you think having Isaac back in their left guard could do for the unit?
Yeah, I mean, Isaac or Wiz, who's ever in there, honestly, I'm extremely confident in either of those guys. And, I think really the whole O-line is, the whole offense is, and really the whole team is behind who's ever in there. So, I don't know if that's necessarily a kickstart or anything like that, but whoever is in there, I'm extremely confident in both of them.
You talk a lot of times, Carson, about protecting yourself better, but you're also a guy, admittedly, who likes to hang in there to the last second with the ball, because you're also happen to be a bigger guy. Is that a fine line to as far as not taking too many hits?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a fine line, hanging in the pocket, trying to make that big play. That's both in and out of the pocket, always never really escaping the pocket to run. And sometimes, you got to get rid of the ball quicker, and that's just part of what it is with how I play. And again, I'm always watching that. I'm always watching and trying to learn when's the right time and pick and choose my battles.
A little bit different this week with the Giants, new coaching staff. Have you seen any changes on the defensive side of the
Yeah, I mean, their scheme is a little different. They do some things differently. A lot of similar faces over there, though. Seems like personnel-wise, seems like we both know each other really well at this point. And with their new scheme, it'll be interesting to see if what they like, what their deal is against us this week. And like I said, I'm sure they'll bring something new that seems like every team's done against us. But we're excited about the matchup for sure.
Carson, last year Thursday night, the game that you played in Carolina, it seemed to be kind of a turning point. Is there that opportunity? Do you see that type of opportunity this Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited mainly because it's a divisional opponent. It's the next opponent, but it's a divisional opponent, and we know where the division is sitting right now, and it's really just wide open, and we really want to get off to the right start in our division.
What does it take to be back physically in 4 days? Is a lot of it going out there and
letting adrenaline take over?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. You know, it's hard. I don't know if our bodies were quite made to take these beatings in 5 days, but it's definitely a lot of mental and physical preparation that goes into it. So taking care of our bodies is #1 on weeks like this.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.